want to come to child's pose on your yoga mat. Stretch your arms out in front of you, but then let everything hang heavy for a moment. Let the arms, the head be down along the mat. We'll greet ourselves in our practice there. Beginning here in child's pose today, come into the awareness of the breath. I can always feel the breath as sort of rising and falling, the expansion and release a bit easier here in child's pose than from the typical seat that we start in. Notice how the breath actually presses against other parts of the body. The shape of the pose itself really calling you to turn in, to check in first. So that in this 45-minute practice, you're really allowing yourself to move from a place that feels right for you today. Reach your arms out now in front of you, a little bit longer, a bit stronger. Be just on your fingertips. Lift the forearms, your elbows, your upper arm bones to the sky. Create that little hollowing underneath the armpits that allows for more stretch and reach from the shoulders all the way back towards the hips. One more breath like this. And then lift on up to all fours. Place the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And move the spine back and forth in cat and cow. Feel free to move a little bit more side to side or make little circles here in cat and cow. Whatever feels nice to you. For a moment, turn the hands around, southpaw. Make the fingers face towards the knees. As ever, if that's too much, turn the hands out to the sides of the mat instead. And then make little circles around in the shoulders to warm up the wrist and forearms. Go both directions. That's a good activity to build into your day a couple of times. A little bit of cat and cow, and then turning the hands around. As you turn the hands back around now, lift to downward facing dog and pedal out the feet. Another nice thing about so many people working from home is that you can give yourself a 2 or 3 minute stretch break without it being distracting to any others around you. Try to just schedule them in a little bit. You can do this big full downward facing dog. Yoga clothes are never needed. Come forward to plank pose. Lower flat down against your mat. Lift for cobra. About halfway up in cobra. Press through the hands and the feet, but about 50% of your regular cobra. Here as the body just warms up. Have a little bit of a pulse with it, a little press down and up. You can choose not to use the hands at all if you don't want that pressure right now. Just lift the chest a bit. And then let's go all the way back to downward facing dog. Up and back. Twisted down dog. Take the right hand to the outside of the left leg. If you'd rather do this from all fours, you're welcome to. And then place the right hand down and do the same on the second side, left hand to the right leg. So the all fours would look more of this, shoulder ear side of the face down. And then everyone, downward facing dog, look to the hands, step or jump to the front end of your yoga mat and stand up, mountain pose. Lift both arms to the sky and take a side body reach. So palms together and then just lean over. Good. Come across the center and lean to the second side. And then come back to the middle. Exhale, forward fold, touch down to the ground. Half lift. Step back to plank pose. Lower down to the mat. Feel the chest up for cobra. Change to downward facing dog. Side plank with your feet wide apart. So right hand, balance on the outer edge of the right foot, the inner edge of the left foot, and fly left arm up to the sky. Step the left foot then halfway up your yoga mat, more like a kickstand, and pulse the hips higher. So I've put pressure onto my left foot to free up some room for this lift. Go back to the feet long, and then full plank, right into the second side. Balance on the left hand, outer edge of the left foot. Let the right foot cross in front and take the right hand high. Step the right foot more forward. Different options here being to stay on the forearm instead of the hand, or keeping the back knee down instead of the front leg with the step through. Always look for what works for you. Downward facing dog. Bend your knees a lot and walk your hands backwards to your feet. And then hands to the waist, point the elbows to the sky and come all the way up to standing. Take a little bend in the knees here. Separate your feet hip distance apart. And then take your hands and interlace behind your back. From the elbows, with a nice bend, squeeze them in towards each other. And then extend the arms. It's that roll of the head of the shoulder up and back. Broaden across the collarbone and lift your eyes up. Lift the chin a little bit. Stay there or take the head down and the arms up. So a bent knee forward fold with the hands bound here. On an inhale, come back upright. Release the hands, take them to the waist, and lift the right leg up. Woo. My balance was all off. If yours was too, just take your time, find it, try it again. Right leg up. Extend the right leg straight out in front of you as much as possible. Keep the hands as is. And then kick the same leg behind you instead of in front of you. Warrior 3. With the hands at the waist, you can help the hips square themselves down. Right hip down, left hip more up in space. And then go back to where you started again. Kick the foot forward. Now can you add, interlace the hands behind your back with elbows bent or arms straight. Kick the leg back again to warrior 3. And hold hands bound. Let's stand up, put the foot on the ground, release the hands. Same thing, second side. Lift the left knee up into the chest. Find that balance first. Nice control in the core. This one's throwing me off today. Instead of the frustration taking over, try it again. Letting go of those self-limiting beliefs that would tell us not to try. Okay, warrior 3, swing the leg back, torso down and forward. Keep standing on just your right leg. Pull the left knee back up and into the chest. Interlace the hands. Try it with that. Extend the left leg. Kick it back, fold over. Warrior 3. Stand on 2 feet. Shake it out. Travel up to the front end of the mat. Let things combine together a little bit more now. Lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift. Step back to plank. Vinyasa flow, lower down to the mat. Pick up the chest for cobra. Downward facing dog. Side plank, right hand, outer edge of the right foot. Stack the feet this time. Left arm to the sky. Place the left hand on your hip. And now take that front foot, that top leg, and step your left foot forward into a low lunge. Lift the left hand to the sky, half lift, half twist. And then come up all the way up to high lunge. Lift the torso, arms to the sky. High lunge with hands bound. You might be getting tired of hands bound. It's not working for you. Other options are hands at the waist, palm in front of palm behind your back. Still not good in the rotation of the shoulders. Hold on to the shoulders. Hands cross in front. If it's working, hands bound. Keep the hands in your choice and kick the right foot all the way forward. So we have to stand up onto it and kick. Kick it back into warrior 3, tilt the torso forward. Lower the right leg down, come back into your high lunge. Arms to the sky. Lower the hands on either side of the front foot, step through plank. Lower down to the mat. Peel the chest up for cobra. And do downward facing dog. Friends, the second side here, start twist side plank. Left hand, outer edge of the left foot. Remember, knees can go down instead of on the feet. Would look like this. And then right hand comes to the right hip and move the right foot all the way forward into your low lunge. Lift the right hand to the sky in your twisted or revolved lunge. Tap the fingers down for a moment. Check the balance in the legs. Come on up. Interlace the hands behind the back. Maybe second favorite finger in front if you've done all of the interlacing here. Looking for a little bit of a difference. And we're kicking that back foot all the way through and forward. You can tap down first. Find the balance and then left leg out. Warrior 3, kick it back. Set the foot down to the mat. Release the hands, take them overhead, high lunge, arms up. Nice, let's finish this with the vinyasa flow. Lower the hands, step through plank. Down to the mat. Curl up for cobra. Downward facing dog. Look to the hands and step or jump forward. Half lift. Forward fold. Stand, reach both hands to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Check in with your intention, reset. What do you need to let go of here to be more easeful, more present in the second half of the practice? As you're ready, take a wide stance, face the long edge of your mat. Extend the arms out in either direction. Turn your right toes out and go to warrior 2, bend the knee. Try to go towards a 90-degree angle from the hip to the knee down to the ankle. Pull your shoulders back over the line of the waist, the hips, and gaze out over the front fingertips. Keep the legs exactly as is and change elbow to knee, top arm palm down overhead, and our extended side angle. Lean the head and shoulders back a little bit. Let the breath be. Next inhale, push through the back foot to help you back to warrior 2. And then straighten the front leg and turn the feet. Face the opposite direction, gaze out over the left fingertips, bend the left knee. And again, you kind of come in and out until you find your settling point for the more static stretch. Change elbow to knee, top arm, palm down overhead, and that side angle reach. Turn to look up to the sky, relax through the shoulders, move them back, head out of the way, shoulders out of the way for your sight. So nice, friends. Come back to warrior 2. Push through the back leg to help lift the torso. Straighten both legs. Turn the toes, fingertips come together. Step or jump all the way into the center. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down a couple of times. Forward and down. Couple more standing poses, again from that wide-legged position here. Take the feet wide again. Turn the front toes out, but as you do that, also turn the back toes in a little bit so that everything is more headed towards that right side. Triangle pose, hinge at the hips. Reach your head more towards the front short side of the mat, even as you extend the back hip towards the back end. Right hand comes down along your leg or the ground. I like to think of a bow and arrow here as you pull from that bottom hand, open, 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 across your shoulders, your chest, your hips, and reach the top arm to the sky. If opening that full bow makes more sense, with a little height, the bottom hand should walk up the bottom leg. And if this energy is more open to the side, we're going to close it back down to that front foot. Lower the left hand down to the floor, turn the back toes in even more so that now you're in pyramid pose with both hips, both shoulders facing that short side of your mat. Walk the hands halfway up your right shin. And keep the left hand along your shin. Send the right arm out to your side. This is a lot of balance and control work. Push through your big toes to help you. Really engage, strengthen the quads to help. And then slowly twist and turn through the torso. If the bottom hand can go all the way down to the ground, let it. Top arm to the sky. Take it all back, hands to the waist. Lift the torso upright. Change the feet. So left toes turn all the way out, back toes just a little bit in. So that we can start for triangle pose. Hinge at the hips. Reach the left hand down to the floor or hold the leg. Think bow and arrow, so we start with that bottom, with the right hand down and then pull back, bend at the elbow, pull back, open, 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 turn, and then extend the top arm. If that keeps you too far down, it does for me, I'll then just rise up, bottom hand, mid-shin. Draw the bow back down. Top hand comes to the floor. Complete the rotation. Back toes turn all the way in. So I've got about heel to heel in alignment here. Trying to make both legs as straight as possible. Hands can come to the waist instead of to the floor to make that happen in pyramid pose. Revolve triangle is all about core here. So you get stronger in the core. Take the right hand down to mid-shin. And I am pressing the palm of my hand into my shin. I've got to lift up on the kneecap, tone in the quad. And it's as if my shin is trying to push forward into the hand so that I don't hyperextend behind the knee. There's always a little bend behind the knee, but perceptibly, like if you took a picture, it would look straight. It's a tiny little bend so that we're not going to the overextension. Top arm to the sky. Working in that way, oh my gosh, so much work in the core. Flexibility might allow you to take the hand all the way down to the ground and actually make the pose easier. Okay, come all the way back up, hands to the waist, press down and out through the feet, lift the torso, rotate in the feet, step it to the middle, give it all a little bit of a shake. Come stand at the top end of the mat. Lift the arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Stay here in your forward fold. Heel toe the feet as wide as your yoga mat. Keep the hands as is, just fingertips on the floor. Bend your knees until your upper arm bones or your elbows kind of touch your thighs. And then try threading your arms through your legs. Sit a little lower. Stay and work the squat like this, or take it to an arm balance with your fingers face the same direction as your toes. As you sit onto your upper arm bones, it'll force the heel of your hand down. You wrap your feet around. Wrap your legs around your upper arm bones. This is arm pressure pose, meant to press your arms into your legs and squeeze your legs onto your outer arms. If the feet are up, place them back down. Everybody walk your hands back forward of your toes. Heel toe your feet back together. You're where we started in a standing forward fold. Now keep your right foot forward and step your left foot back into a low lunge. And lower your left knee down to the ground. From that deep folding in and strength of arm pressure pose, bring your hands up to your front thigh. Let everything open up. Be a little softer with yourself by allowing the hips to weight down and forward with both that back knee and front foot flat on the mat here. A little bit more release. You choose, hands stay here along your thighs, or go to the waist, but squeeze the elbows behind your back and look up a bit more towards the sky. Still good there. You can try the interlace that we've done several times. And then everyone release the hands on either side of the front foot and pick up the back knee for a moment. Swing your hips back and forth, sway in your legs. Straighten and bend the front leg. Good. We changed to pigeon pose. Pick up the right foot and set down the right knee. Walk out through your back leg. Fold over and forward. Much like we started all the way back in child's pose, can you fold the torso over? Kind of release, go into the breath. Notice where you are now on the mat. If pigeon pose is painful along your knee or your hip, you'll want to come out of this, lie down onto your back, do a figure 4 shape with the right ankle over the left thigh. If you're okay here, stay a little bit longer. And then come back upright, press into the hands, move all the way backwards to downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward into a low lunge. Lower the left knee down to the mat. Here again, Anjaneyasana with either hands at the front thigh and pausing there. Again, hands interlaced or just wrapped behind the back. Take that second favorite finger in front if you're doing the interlace. There's a lot of this interlace in our sequence this month. I won't always use it, but it's here today. Release the hands, pick up the back knee, and shift the hips a bit back and forth. Pigeon pose when you're ready. Hands go flat, pick up the foot, and then set the left knee behind the left wrist, heel towards the right side. Walk the back leg out. Come down to the forearms, or even as far over as the forehead. Pull your torso back upright. Everybody again, back to downward facing dog. Forward to plank pose. As slowly as possible, lower yourself down, down, down to the mat. Cobra. Heel the chest up. Push back to child's pose. Knees apart, big toes together, fold in. How is this the same? How is it different from that very first child's pose of our practice? We'll change to a seated position. Take a seat with the soles of the feet together and the knees placed out towards the side, Baddha Konasana. And just hold on to your ankles and try to lift and pull the chest through here. And take the head more forward, lean, lean, lean. You can stop anywhere along the way. Feel free to relax the arms away from your feet. Think forehead towards your toes here to the degree that works. Push the feet in, extend the knees out, so there's still some power happening in this position. Slowly build your torso all the way back up. Hug the knees in. Extend your legs straight out in front of you. Fold the right foot in and over. Sole the foot, both sides of the butt. Pretty well planted on the ground. And then take a twist over. Look over your right shoulder. The front arm can hook to the front of the shin or even to the outside of the thigh. Inhale and slowly unwind yourself from the twist and go for the second side. Left foot comes in and over. Sit up taller on every new breath. Add a little bit more twist on every exhale. Again, inhale and slowly unwind. Both legs straight out in front. Fold over. Seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Stretching the whole back side of the body from the legs through the back. And again, slowly rise back up. Change to lie all the way down onto your back. As you do so, hug the knees into your chest. Give them a good squeeze. We'll give us the opportunity for 2 belly up back bends here. Start with bridge pose. Soles of the feet on the ground. Brush your hands close to the heels. Press down through your feet, shoulders, head. Lift the hips up. If you're interlacing your hands throughout class and that's still working for you, do it again here. Roll the shoulders up and into the center. Other great options are to hold on to the edges of your yoga mat or to bend at your elbows and create like bookends of the hands around the belly. That one's my favorite. A little bit of a pulse here with the breath. Feel the hips lift a bit more with each new inhale. And slowly lower the hips down and just give it a little bit of a pause there. Of course, take your hands out of the way if they were interlaced underneath. Second time around, you can do exactly the same thing, a second bridge pose. If you'd like to take full wheel, this is the opportunity to place the hands by the shoulders. So that rotation feels like southpaw hands as you get it set up. I'm going to stick with bridge pose myself, but either way you want to go, press through the feet, lift the hips. If you're going for a full wheel, press through the hands to change to the top of the head, or straight arms, lift up. Stretch full, another breath there. And everyone slowly, carefully come on down, hips back to the ground. Hug your knees into the chest. Let the back round and press into the mat. Stretch the right leg straight up towards the sky. Extend the left leg along your mat or the sole of the foot. Hug both knees into the center as you switch. Left leg goes up, right leg down. And hug the knees back into the center. Take the hands out to a T shape. Supine twist. Lower both knees over towards the right side. Change to the second side. Come back to the middle. Give yourself another good squeeze. And wiggle your way out to your final resting pose. Shavasana with arms and legs extended. Lie on your back. Close the eyes for a few moments. If you'd rather take a seat of meditation, do that. Slowly now returning to a seated position. Bring your hands into a closing gesture, whether that's most comfortable, just palms down on your thighs, or hands together in Anjali Mudra in prayer position. Closing moment, sort of offering the intention and time for this practice on the mat into the time and purpose off the mat today. I love to do that by singing the sound Om, this universal sound of creation that gives the blessing to the next space. You're welcome to sing along, to listen, or to tune it out. Empty out the breath, and then take a nice breath in. Bow in generous gratitude to yourself, each other, this practice. Namaste.